So there's an amazing story that I'd like to share that talks a lot about the power of acknowledging, expressing, doing an action step, and then reconnecting. I had the privilege of working with a Los Angeles police officer who responded to a car fire. And he was able to save one of the people in the car fire. There were two young women, and she went to the hospital. Unfortunately, she died 4 hours later. And he was pretty devastated about not being able to save them. And when he came to us for a critical incident stress debriefing, he said he was also a little bit angry with the young women because they had been sniffing nitrous oxide to get high, laughing gas. And one of them had decided to have a cigarette, and unfortunately, that caused the explosion. So he was both angry with them, but he said, I'm also very sad I couldn't save them because they were beautiful young women, and I really wished I could have. So we had them write a letter to them. And in that letter, it was 5 pages, very intense. He wrote down all of his feelings, the anger, the guilt, the sadness. And he said, Janet, I feel 50 pounds lighter just after having written this letter. And we said, that's fantastic. So his name is Enrique, and he said, use my real name. And I said, okay. So I said, Ricky, what are you going to do for your action step? And he said, I'm going to go down. And so what he did was he went down to the scene of the car fire. And he brought 2 red roses, one for each of the young women. And he laid them down at the car fire. And he said, I forgive you. I forgive me. I release you. I release me. He called me up and he said, thank the team. I feel so much better. I feel complete. He said, that's exactly what I needed to do. And he said, then my dispatcher took me out for my favorite meal. So that was kind of a reconnection step that reconnected me back to what was good in my life. So then he calls me 3 days later and he said, Janet, you won't believe this. I received a letter from the mother of the young woman that I was able to save, who died later at the hospital. And she thanked me for keeping her alive so they could say goodbye to her at the hospital. He said, I was amazed. He said, she wrote the letter on the very day that I laid down the roses at the scene of the car fire. And she said in her letter, Dear Enrique, I've been trying to write this letter for months, and today is finally the day that I could do it. So when I did my action step, she actually was able to do her action step, which was to thank me. So sometimes when we do our grief work, and we do the acknowledge, express, act, and reconnect, it enables other people. Just our energetic action of doing it gives them permission and the energy to do their action step.